Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the fourth module related to the eighth chapter from Integrated Social Science Ratnasagar Class 6, Geography, India, Physical Features. In the previous module, we have discussed about the peninsular plateaus. In this particular module, we are going to discuss about the coastal plains and the islands as well. Now coming on to the coastal plains, the Deccan Plateau is bounded by the coastal plains. We have already discussed this one in the last video, isn't it? That the Deccan Plateau, here let me show you with the help of the map. So the Deccan Plateau is basically bounded by the coastal plains in the east and in the west as well, and they run for about 6,100 kilometers. Okay, they run for about 6,100 kilometer from the run of Kutch. Okay, here is the run of Kutch. So from the run of Kutch in the west to West Bengal, okay, here in the east. Okay, so the coastal plains run for about 6,100 kilometer for from the run of Kutch in the west to the West Bengal in the east. Okay, but let me tell you one more thing, that India has a coastline of 7,516.6 kilometers. Okay, India has a coastline of 7,516.6 kilometers, which includes 6,100 kilometer coastline of the mainland. This is the mainland coastline. Okay, along with the coastline of 1197 kilometer of Indian islands. Okay, touching 13 states and union territories. Okay, and the regular and the straight coastline of India is the result of faulting of the Gondwana land. Okay, that is the continental drift. We'll be reading about continental drift in class 7 as well. But before starting, moving to this, the next topic, or before discussing it further, it is very necessary for us to understand something about the continental drift as well. Basically, continental drift is a theory of a German meteorologist, Alfred Wegener. Okay, in 1912, he made an attempt to explain the present day distribution of continents and oceans. He proposed that millions of years ago, all land masses were joined together into a supercontinent called Pangaea, and he suggested that the Pangaea broke and there was a horizontal displacement of the continents, which came to be known as Wegener's theory of continental drift. Okay, so this was continental drift, and let us move on the to the topic, the coastal plains. As I have already told, that they run for about 6,100 kilometer from the run of Kutch in the west to West Bengal in the east. The western and the eastern coastal plains meet at Kanyakumari. Okay, they both meet at Kanyakumari. Let me show you the map which is given in your book. Okay, they both meet at Kanyakumari, and Kanyakumari is the southernmost tip of the mainland. The southernmost tip of Indian mainland is Kanyakumari. Okay, there is a question which you have to find out. You have to find out the answer to the question, that which is the southernmost point of the India's territory. Okay, I'm not talking about the southernmost tip of Indian mainland. I'm talking about the southernmost point of India's territory. Okay, do find it out, and we'll be discussing it in class. So the Kanyakumari basically is the point where the western and the eastern coastal plains meet, and Kanyakumari is the southernmost tip of Indian mainland. The eastern, you can see here, the eastern coast is broader than the western coast. Okay, the eastern coast, let me show you with the help of another map. So you can see here that the eastern coast is broader in comparison to the western coast. Okay, talking about the Western Ghats further, the northern part of the Western coastal plain. Okay, we were discussing the Western coastal plains, not Western Ghats. So coming on to Western coastal plain, the northern part of the Western coastal plain is known as the Konkan coast. You can see here, this is the Konkan coast. Okay, the western part of the the northern part of the western coastal plain is called the Konkan coast, and the southern part is called the Malabar coast. What is the southern part of the western coastal plain called? It is called the Malabar coast. Okay, the western coastal plain is basically made up of alluvium brought down by the short streams originating from the Western Ghats. Okay, and the backwaters, locally called kayals, are a special feature of the Malabar coast. Okay, the backwaters, locally called kayals, are the special feature of the Malabar coast. So, what backwater is? So, a backwater is basically a part of a river in which there is a, a little or no current. Okay, and the lake water is actually fresh river water that comes down from the river and is then used for paddy fields whenever the need be, and later it merges with the oceans as well. So, a backwater is basically a part of a river where the water is stagnant, okay, still, and the Malabar coast is very much. This is the special feature of Malabar coast. Okay, the backwaters, they are locally called kayals. Okay, is a special feature of the Malabar coast. Coming on to the eastern coastal plain, the northern part of the eastern coastal plain is called the Northern Circars, and the southern part is called the Coromandel coast. Okay, rivers such as Mahanadi, you can see here Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri. Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri have formed fertile deltas along the eastern coastal plains. Eastern coastal plains lies between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal, and it extends from the Ganga Delta to Kanyakumari. Okay, and is marked by deltas of rivers like the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna, and Kaveri. You may have heard about Chilika Lake and Pulikat Lake. Okay, they are the important geographical features of the east coast. And eastern coast is also known. There are some regional names also given to the eastern coast as well. You can see here. Okay, in Odisha it is called the Utkal coast. Okay, and from the southern limit of Utkal coast it stretches to the Andhra coast. Here is the Andhra coast. Okay, and in the Tamil Nadu coast and parts of Andhra coast together are known as Coromandel coast, or they are also known as Pyan Ghat. Okay, Pyan Ghat basically means Falls Devi Point. Okay, in Andhra Pradesh, basically Krishna River Delta in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. Okay, have to remember few things only. The thing is that the eastern coastal plain is broader than the western coastal plain. The northern part of the western coastal plain is known as Konkan coast, and the southern part of the western coastal plain is known as the Malabar coast. Okay, Malabar coast has a very special feature. The backwaters are locally called kayals, are the special feature of the Malabar coast. The northern part of the eastern coastal plain is known as the Northern Circars, and the southern part of the eastern coastal plain is called the Coromandel coast, and rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri here, okay, they have formed fertile deltas along the eastern coastal plain. Next topic which we are going to deal with before moving to the next topic, that is the islands. we'll be dealing with we'll discuss this one, this slide. Do have a look to this slide, okay, and then we'll move on to the next slide where we will discuss about the islands. So you can see here the coastal plains bound the Deccan Plateaus in the east and the west, and they run for 6,100 kilometers from Run of Kutch to West Bengal. And the east coastal plains meet at the Kanyakumari, which is the southernmost tip of the Indian mainland. And talking about the width, the eastern coastal plain is more broader in comparison to the western coastal plain, and the northern part of the western coastal plain is called the Konkan coast, whereas the northern part of eastern coastal plain is known as the northern Circus. The southern part of the western coastal plain is known as the Malabar coast, whereas the southern part of the eastern coastal plain is known as the Coromandel coast. And rivers like Narmada, Mahanadi, not Narmada, rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri form fertile deltas here. Turning on to the next topic, that is the islands. So India has two main groups of islands. These islands are the Lakshadweep Islands and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So the major island groups of India are Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These are also called archipelago. Why? Because these islands are having a chain of islands similar in origin, okay, which is in the Bay of Bengal and the Lakshadweep Islands in the Arabian Sea. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands were formed due to the collision between the Indian plate and the Burma Minor Plate, basically a part of Eurasian plate. We'll be discussing about these things further in other further classes. You will be knowing about what these plates are. Okay, so what I have told, that the Andaman and Nicobar Islands were formed due to the collision between the Indian plate and the Burma Minor Plate, and the Lakshadweep Islands are basically coral islands. Okay, these islands are a part of volcanism. Okay, are a part of volcanism. Let us understand these two islands with the help of the map in the next slide. So do have a look to these maps related to the Lakshadweep and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. You can see here that the Andaman Islands are divided into three main islands: the North, Middle, and the South Andaman. Okay, and the Great Andaman group of islands in the north is separated from the Nicobar group in the south uh, by a channel named the 10-degree channel. Okay, here is the 10-degree channel also. These are extra information related to these islands. Do remember these things because these are also important. Okay, and Port Blair is the capital of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, lies in the South Andaman. Okay, it is in the South Andaman, Port Blair. This is the capital of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Talking about the Lakshadweep Islands, Minicoy. Okay, you can see here is Minicoy Island, with an area of about 5 square kilometer, is the largest island in the Lakshadweep group. Okay, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands group, basically the Andaman and the Nicobar group stretches for a distance of about 600 kilometers. Okay, and most of these islands are mountainous and are covered with thick forests. Okay, the Lakshadweep Island is basically having the Minicoy as the largest island with an area of about 5 square kilometers. You can see here the map of these two islands in a more detailed way. Okay, here is the Lakshadweep one and here is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Do have a look for few seconds, or if you want to take a screenshot, you can take it by pausing the video. And most of the islands here in the Lakshadweep are extremely vulnerable to sea level change as well. Okay. Okay, let us turn on to the next slide and let us see, try to differentiate these two islands with the help of a table. Okay, coming on to the Lakshadweep Islands and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The Lakshadweep Islands are located in the Arabian Sea, and the Andaman and the Nicobar Islands are located in Bay of Bengal. The Lakshadweep Islands are a group of 36 small islands, and Minicoy is the largest island in the Lakshadweep with an area of 5 square kilometer. And the Lakshadweep Islands are originated in form of volcanic eruptions. Okay, they are originated from volcanic eruptions. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are a group of 572 small islands that stretches for a distance of 600 kilometers, and they are originated from coral reefs. Now, what coral reefs are? So, as I have said that the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are originated from coral reefs. So, what coral reefs are? Coral reefs are basically the colonies of tiny living creatures that are found in the oceans. Okay, they are the underwater structures that are formed of coral polyps. Okay, here the next image you are saying next to it is the coral polyps. Okay, that are held together by calcium carbonate. Okay, these coral polyps are held together by calcium carbonate. And corals can be found in all the oceans, but the biggest coral reefs are mostly found in the clear, shallow waters of the tropics and the subtropics. The largest of these coral reef systems are the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Okay, the largest coral reef is more than 1,500 miles long. And the major coral reefs in India includes the Park Bay, the Gulf of Mannar, the Gulf of Kutch, and we have already discussing the Andaman and the Nicobar Islands as well. And the coral reefs are elementary sedimentary rocks which are located above the sea and the oceanic bed of the continental shelf. Okay, these organic sedimentary rocks are formed on the platform of ridges through a combined process which includes sedimentation and solidification of the skeleton of coral polyps. Okay, basically it is formed by the solidification of the skeleton of coral polyps. Okay, these are the coral polyps, and when this solidifies, when the skeleton of coral polyps solidifies, the coral reefs are formed. Okay, so that was all about the islands, and with this we come to an end to the chapter as well. Let do have a look on the map of these topics, basically the islands. Okay, and do pause the video while going through the if you want to take a screenshot of these particular maps, or if you want to understand them better, or if you want to label and locate them. So this was all regarding the Indian coastal plains and the islands group of India. With this I come to an end. I call it a day, and in the next video we'll be discussing about a chapter from history, that is the Gupta and the post Gupta period. Till then, have a nice day. Do read the topics first and then watch the video.